Welcome back, everybody. I'm Latimer. So we got Season 4, Diablo 4, coming in on May 14th. And the theme is loot. Literally, loot. There's a minor theme involving the Iron Wolves that it will also be involved. But the theme is called Loot Reborn. So we're going to cover all that today, and I wanted to wait to do this video until the live stream happened. This way I would find out if there's going to be anything they're going to surprise us with. We'll cover that as well. Before we get started though, do me a favor, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button. That way you don't miss a video when I drop one. Let's go. Galvanize your legend in Season 4, The Loot Reborn. I'm sorry, guys, but it's actually really hard to say that with a straight face, especially since I know what it means. Season 4 drops on May 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They've been pretty good with patches, so hopefully it starts on time. Now, what this season entails? Well, there's a minor part of it that includes the Iron Wolves, and you get a seasonal quest line with the follower, and you go and do some quests. If it has any resemblance to the previous seasons, you'll be done those probably in an hour or two. Nothing stellar. The season that they're giving you this season is literally the patch in PTR. It's the job they should have done before they launched the game. That's neither here nor there. I'm not going to sit here and try and run them into the ground nonstop. We're going to try to focus on the positives today. There are some. Believe it or not, there are a lot of positives actually here. So the first major positive is this is the first season since launch where the patch is actually following a PTR. So they have not done a PTR since launch, and if they had, it probably would have saved them a lot of headaches because they would have avoided a lot of issues. So needless to say, they brought in a PTR. They tested out now masterworking, tempering, the pit, and a new Helltide, which that new Helltide, I have to say, is being very positively received. So looking forward to that. All right, we're going to start off with itemization. Let's get into that. All right, so the biggest change of this whole season is itemization. That is the biggest focus of this whole season, and obviously Loot Reborn, right? So now with that being said, there's a couple of major things that are happening. The number of items is being reduced, okay, that you're going to see out to get dropped. And the reason for this, they say, is because of how they've changed the items. So one of the biggest things they've done is they've changed it so that on a rare item that you're only going to get 2 affixes. On a legendary item, you're only going to get 3 affixes. Okay. And on the legendary items, there is the potential to have a greater affix, which is actually indicated by this little star symbol right here. Okay. And then from that point, you would temper or masterwork or use the codex to add affixes or aspects. My apologies. Now, that being said, instead of seeing an affix that relies on conditional values, 10% damage to non-injured elites, you'll see affixes such as base increases to your movement speed, max life, or single ranks to a core skill. Dropped items now are simpler to evaluate, and we've moved their complexity and customization to the new crafting systems, tempering and masterworking. Okay, so that is important to note. So you will see less items, but apparently they will be easier to sort through and able to be more powerful. Now, so a good thing is because they're adding new crafting systems, they've adjusted how crafting mats work and where you're going to get mats. One of the major things is Forgotten Souls can now be earned from Whisper bounties and as a rare drop from all elites, which is a huge thing because of the fact that was a shortage before. However, in the PTR, and I'm hoping they've fixed this, there was a shortage of veiled crystals, but we'll see how that works out. Now, the gold cost to re-roll items in enchanting now has a maximum, so it'll stop at once you reach a certain point, and that's all you'll have to spend, no matter what. And they've also cut down on the materials needed to perform all activities at the blacksmith. Now, another change that they've made is no matter what, at World Tier 3, sacred items will only drop in World Tier 3. Ancestral items will only appear in World Tier 4. Similarly, legendary items drop from item levels or enemies over level 95 will always be 925 item power. Okay. Uniques now have a chance to drop in World 1 and 2, certain ones, and all uniques have a chance to drop starting in World Tier 3. Uber uniques can start appearing once you're killing monsters that are level 55 at max item power level. All right. So those are really cool changes and really beneficial changes. Now, there's some major changes to the Codex of Power. Okay. And the Codex Power is your aspect storage states. Extracting aspects from legendary items now stores them into your Codex of Power to be used indefinitely. Okay, so once you've got it, you've got it. Instead of taking up space in your inventory, the Codex of Power is a library now, so you don't have to hold individual codexes, which is great. And then it can be used as many times as you want. So here's just an example, a quick little picture of it, so you can see what it looks like. This is what the new Codex of Power looks like. And then you go through and you select which one that you want to use. All right. So you got all your defensives, your offensives, resources, utilities, and mobility. And then you pull, each one in each category. Nice and easy. I do actually applaud that change. That is something that is definitely needed to be done, which is good. Now, tempering is the new system that has been added to the game to allow you to add affixes to items. So items now, rare items can have up to 4 affixes, and legendary items can now actually have up to 5. So this is actually kind of cool. Now, as you find and learn tempering manuals, these are things you're going to need. You'll be able to add powers to your items as you go throughout the game. This is actually really cool. However, we'll see how the implementation goes. All right, so now moving on to masterworking. This is very similar to tempering, except this only affects your weapon. And what it does is it improves the overall strength of all of your affixes on the weapon. Now, at every 4th tier, it massively upgrades one of your equipped affixes. That affix will turn blue. If it's upgraded again, it'll turn yellow. And if you get a rare chance that it turns the 3rd time, it'll go orange. Now, the mats are rare and they need to be farmed heavily, and they're also going to be farmed directly out of the pit, which is another gating process I'm not a fan of. All right, now moving on to greater affixes. As I mentioned earlier, they only appear on ancestral, legendary, and unique items, and they're 1.5 times more powerful versions of normal affixes. They have the unique icon, that star I showed you, in fact, actually right here. Okay, so that's that little star symbol. That's a greater affix. I know a lot of people in PTR were asking to have a different color or something for an item that has a greater affix. I think that would be a great idea. It should be done. Don't know if it's been addressed, but we'll see. Now, each affix on an item has a chance to be a greater affix in World Tier 3 and 4. You cannot enchant an affix into a greater affix, though. They can only be found. So keep that in mind, okay? Gems now are simpler, streamlined, more effective across your character's journey. Crew gems have been removed. Crafting levels have been shifted back. Normal gems are available at 51, flawless at 71, royal at 91. Diamonds have had all the resistance values increased. Topaz now provides increases to intelligence, and sapphires to willpower. Amethyst increases your strength, and emeralds now provides bonus dexterity. Kind of similar to Diablo 3. All right, so moving on to Hell Tides. Hell Tides are getting some massive changes in Season 4. Mob density is being increased for starters. Shard drops are going to be increased as well. Now, one of the big changes is the threat level. So in the top right corner of the screen, you'll notice there's a little threat bar. Once that reaches full, you'll be hell marked, and then you'll be basically bombarded by a whole bunch of enemies. And then eventually, if you can make it out alive, you spawn what's called a Hellborn. A Hellborn is a mob that you need to kill in order to collect an item in order to summon another kind of like boss. And what the item is called a Baneful Heart. And by doing this, you can actually contribute these Baneful Hearts to initiate a dark ritual that will also grant you increased rewards as a contribution bonus. So, and this also will summon a boss for you. So basically, Hell Tides have just become literally Hell Tide. Now, The big news about this, though, is that Hell Tides are actually now going to be in Worlds Tier 1 and 2, which is also going to be, by the sounds of it, the new meta for leveling. Excuse me. So from what I'm hearing, it is going to be definitely the faster way to level up. Now, additional changes for the Wanderer that wants to push the limits of Helltide. An exceptionally valuable new elixir called Profane Mind Cage is available. This is to up the ante. Basically, what it does is it increases the level of Helltide monsters by 10. It boosts Cinder drop rates, Cinder shards, and these are guaranteed drop after killing a Hellborn. Okay, you will see diminishing returns on boosted monster levels closer to level cap. Keep progressing in world tiers to retain the same benefit from this potent elixir. The Profane Mind Cage will last only until the end of Season 4 Loot Reborn. All right, now moving on, we got the Pit. So the Pit is a new endgame feature in Diablo 4 Season 4 that is very similar to the Greater Rift system in Diablo 3. So the way it's activated is by doing endgame activities, you're going to start to collect something called rune shards, and then you will spend these in Sirigar, and it will activate an Obligus, and you'll be able to go delve into the Pit. You will need to do this in order to collect materials for masterworking anyways. So it's all kind of hand in hand, but you will be able to, I believe, go up to 200 different levels, 200 level variants of the summable bosses in Diablo 4. So it could be quite challenging, and at least it is a endgame activity. Now, also in addition, and Dario is also joining into the Uber boss tier, I guess. And this is another boss that we're going to have to collect materials to summon. Yay. You can tell just how thrilled I am by that. To be honest, I'm kind of annoyed with the collect things, gate things, hold people back for no reason aside from drag out people's time in the game. That is not idea of fun for me. So I personally have not tried Dario. I'm waiting till the season starts. I'd like to see it then when it's fresh and when they've done any updates that they need to do. So that being said, moving on. All right, so now we're going to talk about what I find actually to be kind of the depressing part of the season, and that is actually the season theme. The season theme is the Iron Wolves. Now, I'm not disappointed that the Iron Wolves are being brought in. I'm disappointed of the lack of content with the Iron Wolves. There is so much they could have done. And I think they took really the lazy way out here. And I think really this is all... It's starting to feel a lot more like another beta test for the expansion that's coming later this year. Makes kind of sense, don't you think? Do you think Season 5 is going to drop before the expansion? I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm starting to think it probably won't. And I think this is all preparation just for the expansion. And I think doing a lackluster Season 4 is really not a good move on Blizzard's part. And it doesn't show good character, to be honest. But needless to say, we do have a little bit to do with the Iron Wolves. We do get a seasonal quest line. They get a follower. And you go do some stuff, and you get some temporary manuals out of the deal. Yay. All right, moving on to the season journey. What we do have going on here is they did actually add something for us. And so what you're seeing on the screen right now is you're seeing new builds. For example, the Barbarian Tornado build. You got the Druid Pulverized build. These are builds that are actually going to be kind of given to you throughout your season journey. By completing the season journey, you will get legendary items that pertain specifically to these builds to allow you to kind of complete these builds and try out these builds. And they're going to change these up throughout season journeys going forward, which is kind of a cool concept. And so that pretty much sums up everything for Season 4, what we can expect. Ends off with trying to pitch the Battle Pass, which I'm not going to do. So But yeah, so we get a kind of a new set system coming up. That's what those items are coming out of the season journey, kind of like a set system, which is good. It's kind of going in the right direction there. Needless to say, though, we've got a lot of changes coming up in season 4, and hopefully they're good changes. And that's all we can say. So look forward to seeing it. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Let me know what you can think below in the comments. Tell me what you guys think should be changed or shouldn't be changed. That sounds good. And yeah, thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe. Till next time, guys, keep gaming.